Welcome back to the show. Today is Mindful Monday, and just in case you're tuning in right now, we are in the second hour of the conversation, and we want to focus on discipline versus motivation, okay? And we're looking at what really builds a man. We're focusing on the boy child today, and we were talking about this before we came on air. We said, leo tunasaidia boy child, tunatetea boy child, leo tufiji boy child, okay? And we'll be looking at several, aspects of the conversation, including is motivation really overrated in today's world of self-improvement? And what does real discipline look like beyond the gym, beyond the routines, and focus at the character level? We'll also be looking at, can a man succeed long-term if he relies purely on motivation, okay? And last but not least, we'll also be focusing on at what point in a man's life does discipline become non-negotiable. And I'm really, really happy with the panel that we have this morning. Is there men from different, I don't want to say institutions, but different fields and spheres, yes, of life to really help us on this conversation this morning. So I'm just going to begin on my immediate left, and we have Felix Andrea Gidinji, who is a boys and men's advocate. Good to see you. Tujana na ibwaka, sino? Happy New Year. Good to see you. Mpaka March, sino? Kesho ni siku ya mwisho ya March, so tunaendelea tu kusema Happy New Year until then. And next to Felix, we have Frank Wairishi, who is a life coach, joining us this morning. Karibu sana.
Thank you
so
much,
your first time here on your world. Me, I'm still not convinced, but karibu.
I've convinced myself I've been here. Asante.
Good to see you, Frank. And then next to Frank, we have Hilary Yongidi, who's a mental health advocate and transformative speaker. Karibu sana. Good to see you. First time on your world as well.
Yes.
Karibu sana. Good to have you. And I was telling him, leo hatuumizi. Leo tumemweka aketi chini, because every time we have a session with him, anatuambianga mutalala mbinguni, hakuna kupumzika. I'm talking about Otieno Ogeta, who is a fitness coach, joining us this morning. Karibu sana. Good to see you. So hata wetu Jonana this year, so happy new year literally to all of you guys, right? And Frank, can we just begin with you, because you see most of the time there's that pressure, as a man, as a boy, we're told you need to behave like this, you need to don't behave like this, and there's that pressure to stay disciplined, stay motivated and whatnot. As you think about that, and what does that really look like? Discipline and motivation from a man's perspective, what exactly does that look like? So think about it for a second as I remind the people the question that we are asking this morning. And we have a very, very simple question, which I'd like all the men, everybody else who's watching us this morning to answer, is when motivation disappears, what still gets done? Okay, what if akuna zero motivation? Okay, what do you still get done? That is the question that we're asking you this morning at NTV Kenya across all board. It's how you can reach us, or better yet, use our WhatsApp number, which will be on your screen in just a second. But yes, discipline, motivation. Tunawapatianga pressure sana to stay disciplined and motivated. But really, what does that look like from a man's perspective?
Right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And just to answer that, we need to understand what motivation is. And motivation is emotional energy. And you see, you can get motivation from different places. You can get motivation from desire. You can get motivation from inspiration. You can get motivation from pain, from problems, from issues in life. You can even get motivation from a sermon or a speech.
Yeah.
But you see, motivation is the starting point. Now, somebody said that when you motivate a fool, you will end up with a motivated fool. Now, the thing is, it is not an insult when you call somebody a fool. It is just because they do not have some understanding. But you see, the way it is said, like when I decide to tell somebody that I love them, and the tone is wrong, they are not going to be convinced that they are loved. And so when we call somebody a fool, at times people are angry, and so they feel like it's a very bad word. But what we are saying is that there's some knowledge that you don't know, there's something that you don't understand. And so motivation is a starting point, but you don't remain there. Because it is based on emotion. Okay. And the emotions tell you that I feel like doing this, and tomorrow I don't feel like it. And that is where now you need to build discipline. Discipline now is building the structure. It is building something, a system that will now push you and now lift you up to the place where you have the consistency, where you do your sacrifice. You really sacrifice. Even when it's raining, your mood does not change. You have to do it, and you go and do it. That is discipline.
I see. interesting. So Felix, as the boys and men's advocate, okay, looking at our society right now, you know, we talk about Kababa generation, you know, we tell, sit at the corner and think about what you have done, right? From where you sit, are we raising disciplined and motivated boys and men in, you know, the current, I don't want to say current generation, but the current society that we're raising our boys and yeah, our boys practically? Are we doing it? Are we raising them disciplined? Are we raising them motivated?
We are living in a modernized, changing world, and we no longer talk about a strength anymore.
Okay.
We talk about identity, we talk about motivation, we talk about emotional intelligence, we talk about responsibility. So, and I usually go back to the family setup. It all depends with how you are brought up.
Raised, yeah.
And in counseling, we keep saying that we are who we are because of our childhood experiences. So whether you're disciplined or not, or you're struggling with provision, you're struggling with work, you're struggling with keeping up with the modernization. You know, just say we are. Some people are even blaming Iran as men for what is happening. So,
right now.
Yeah, we are blaming so many things.
Yeah, even the things that don't really
Even the things that don't really matter. Unaenda kufanya kitu nakwambia, no, you blame the war, you blame the missiles.
Yeah.
So I still go back to the family setup, how we were brought up.
Yeah.
When my dad was in Form 2 and he came with 750 ml of Viceroy, and he told me, my son, this is alcohol, and if you decide to take from today, then don't say that I didn't teach you what alcohol is. And that taught me a lot until today.
Yeah.
That if I want to drink, I can drink at home. I can drink not without hiding. You know, I need to be responsible when drinking, because aliniambia na alikuja mpaka na coke chesa, akaniambia sasa hii ndio pombe, unaweka hii kwanza alafu unaweka hii, alafu mamena amefanya vizuri juu amepika, so kula kwanza ushibe. Ukishiba sasa weka kidogo ukunywe. Asubuhi utaniambia umesikiaje. So asubuhi naamka nasikia joto, kumbe ni hangover na sijui. I was in Form 2. Yeah, but what did that teach me? So it is about how were we brought up when we were growing.
Yeah.
So was discipline put in us when we were younger, so that by the time we are growing up, we know this if I do this, I'm doing it wrong. Because we say consistency beats motivation.
It does.
You can be motivated on a daily basis, but if you don't practice that skill that you are taught, you still lag behind. If you don't have a push, if you don't have a father figure who will not only, you know, just be with you, but enforce that discipline, and you grow with it. My dad was in the army. I keep saying that my dad was in the army, my mom was in the police. So you can imagine the kind of discipline that was in our house. You know, ulikuwa naambiwa unafanya, unauliza baadaye. Then I went to Embakasi Garrison Primary School, iko kwa jeshi. Then I went to Kahawa Garrison, iko kwa jeshi bado. So for me, it has been structure, order, and discipline. When I went to Rwanda and we were taught about structure, order, and discipline, that is what has I have been raised into.
Okay.
So it is how it's about how we were brought up.
And how early we actually
and how early that was instilled in us, depending on the different circumstances. Unaona sasa yangu ilikuwa ni pombe, ilikuwa ni Form 2. Why? Because Form 2 upon ndio most of us lose track of life. If you don't get it right in Form 2, you're done. So if he didn't do that to me nikiwa Form 2, probably singemaliza, probably ningekuwa rehab, ama ningekuwa Meru somewhere nikilima. Why? Because I didn't study. But the moment I was in school and after sasa nilienda shule, niliona watu walikuwa na buy, kitambo used to buy those sachets, 10 bob, pombe ilikuwa na koko sachet. So nilikuwa na shanga, mbona una sneak, unakuja shule na kapombe 10 bob koko karatasi. Kwani what are you drinking? Kwani hizi ni nini? Na mbona ukunyi kwa nyumba? Like I know mimi nikifunga midterm nikienda, I'll find my dad does something small for me. And then I understood even that is discipline. Okay. Whatever you're drinking is discipline.
Interesting. You know, a lot of people who are watching us will be like, you could taking but there's some bit of lesson.
If he didn't do that, let me tell you, I'll have disappeared in Meru, because when I was studying in Meru, many it was about either miraa, so nasamaga miraa iko mpaka kwa fence, unachuna tu. So there are schools who had a whole day Saturday for just chewing cut. So you can imagine what happened to those kids.
Oh wow, I see that. And Hilary, you know, staying motivated, staying disciplined, you know, and especially when we're talking about mental health and for men, how sometimes that is not even a conversation to have, you know. It's like you try to be strong, I am a man, you know. So even the emotions, whatever it is that you're feeling, your experiences that you're going through, even when you're not feeling motivated, you just want to pretend strong because, you know, but because you're a man. So can we talk about how mental health impacts either our discipline and motivation as well? Because like he said, it's very easy to blame everything else. Yeah.
That's so nice. When I usually say motivation goes to the mind, but discipline goes to the heart. Based on motivation, like in high school when the motivation speaker used to come, they tell you 10 ways of getting an A.
Yeah. How to get
the process is where now it needs your discipline. It needs your consistency. It needs to build structures. And in the aspect of when you now decide to now build structures on how to really be motivated, be disciplined in waking up in the early, for example, to get an A, wake up in the early morning, to read, to follow up with questions. What it does to your mind, it builds on emotional resilience. Yeah. Men, most of us were grown to be taught on emotional suppression. Be a man, man up. You know, and when you do that, the bad thing about emotions is the demand to be felt. You will suppress them to a point of they now manifest in themselves, either in anger, in avoidance, in rejection, and what you're supposed to do now is to have an emotional intelligence, whereby I need to identify what am I feeling. What is it? Can I name it? I'm feeling anxious. How do I cope with it? So emotional suppression vis-a-vis emotional intelligence. We're being told about emotional suppression so much that when you grow up, everything's about be a man. For us, a man is a person who has control and a dominance, and not someone who can really tame what they're feeling. So most of the time, we'll express these unhealed wounds, unhealed emotions in different ways, in terms of anger, in terms of avoidance. I'll find someone in a setting like this, they're just chilled. Not that because they can't speak, no, because they've been taught, ukena mali watu wako
nyamaza. It's very true. Yeah.
Not because they can't talk, but then they've been taught, ukena mbele watu nyamaza. Don't show who you really are, like as a man. So most of the time it's about suppression, not about intelligence.
Not intelligence. Interesting. So when we come back then, how do we unpack that? Okay, that's moving forward. Even when we're raising our boys, we raise them in a safe space that they can express their emotions without necessarily being told, just away right? But also you talked about structures. So then how do we build the structures? First of all, what structures? You know, but you know, to make them work. But Ogeda, also looking at fitness as well, because most of the time we want to, you know, look fit, look good, feel good. But at times, especially January, sisi wote tuko gym, and then March hapo kidogo is like 1 or 2 people, okay? So from a fitness perspective, because again, when we're looking at a man as a whole, we're looking at, you know, their spirit, their soul, their mind, and their body as well. So fitness, discipline, motivation, what does that look like from a man's perspective?
Thank you so much. You know what happens? Motivation is a feeling. And from the fitness perspective, you know, like December is always a very busy month with different other things. So when guys say, oh, I'll start working out in January, you are motivated. So the first week, you hit the gym or you hit the road. Second week, you try, then maybe when you get your first, how do you call that one that they pay mid-month? Advance. Probably you're just working out because you are broke in January. But the moment you get your money, you fall back, you shift the goals. So actually, I would say that motivation is just a feeling. It keeps you start, it makes you start. But now what matters most is the discipline. Because if you drop the ball, that means you drop the discipline and you'll not be able to achieve your goal, because it's a long-term thing. Fitness is not just a one-off thing. You need to be very, very consistent, doing it every other day. For instance, like now, if I subject the panelists here that we are going to start working out today, and they say, well, you're going to do 100 push-ups today. What happens the following day? They won't be able to wake up and do, because the body is feeling so and what have you. So if we start small, say let's do 5 today, the following day we are doing 10. That trend will help us realize our goals through the discipline. Because discipline is very, very paramount. It's a decision.
It is.
I would put it like it's a decision that you decided to look fit, to keep fit and healthy. So you must adhere to that goal.
Yeah. Does the why matter? Okay, and especially when we're looking at fitness, because there's some women attend to gym because of a heart broken. A little bit fit, so he's like, yeah, me, I'm going to the gym, and you know, like does and in any decision really that we make, does the why matter, and how big of a factor is it when it comes to motivation and discipline?
Yeah, the why matters a lot, because you realize the world as we know it today. And of course, when you're talking about the boy child that you're trying to help, there's something that I call comfort addiction. Yeah, people are addicted to being comfortable.
Being comfortable,
They want their space. And you see, when now you realize that somebody wants their space and they have that addiction in comfort, it means they are relying a lot on motivation. They are not consistent.
Okay.
And the likelihood is that they might miss out on some things. And so how do we help them? It's a question that you had also asked. How do we help them? Now, they need to understand their potential.
Okay.
They need to understand their abilities. They also need to understand their value. What is their value? And also understand their purpose, the reason for being. Why are they here? And you see, purpose is a subject that probably has been very troublesome to many people. Because you ask people, so why are you here? People are still finding out why they are here.
It's true.
But you see, one of the things that can help somebody find their purpose is, number one, you can talk about the things that make you happy. What are these things that really make you happy? What are these things that make you sing as you go? You see, when somebody is singing, you know they're happy. They're not just singing because they're angry. And number two, what makes you cry? What are these things that you say? You might find a child saying that when I grow up, I'm going to be a policeman and arrest these people. There's something that child is communicating. There's something that he or she is angry about, they don't like. And then number three, what makes them unique? What is this thing that you're different from other people? Your uniqueness. Teach them what is this that is different. And then the other thing, what are the things that you dream about? You know, there are things in life that you cannot stay for 2 days without thinking about. So what is this thing that you think about every day? One day I'm going to own a camera. One day I'm going to own this car. One day I'm going to own this building. If you think about that every day, maybe it's leading you to your purpose.
Okay.
And then the other thing is what will make you, what is this thing that you do so easily? What is this thing that makes you excel? Yeah, like for him, when he wakes up, he thinks about, now, let's be fit. So if that is what makes you excel, you find that now you're getting into your purpose. And you say, when they get to understand those things, now you start helping them to build up so that they move from that place of motivation, which is not consistent, to a place of discipline, because these things are going to require some discipline for you to maintain.
Consistency, a big word that we struggle with consistency. So how do we build that, which we'll look at in just a second. But looking at parenting now versus parenting then, right? Because you said your dad introduced you to alcohol. So okay, and if you do this, this is what will happen and whatnot. What are the things that we're doing wrong in terms of parenting, and especially when you're looking at instilling discipline to our children? Because as we were tandikwad, but now you tandik at someone's kids, they'll be like, the kids themselves know child protection services, they will call, right? So then how, parenting then versus parenting now, and what we're doing wrong when it comes to instilling discipline to our children, especially our boys.
What he said, maybe before I go into that, the kind of men that we want or we need to see, you know, self-awareness, purpose, and accountability. So as much as you're disciplined or you're motivated, if you don't have a purpose, if you're not accountable to yourself and to others around, that is why we'll come to mentorship, and where mentorship is really important. So there should be a sense of accountability. So even as a fitness trainer, and I'm going to him to train, he will keep asking me, you know, we need to have like a timetable. That is accountability. So every time that I might pay, but if I'm not accountable to those days that I'm coming to train, I'll just be benefiting him.
That's true.
So na kitu tunafaa kuangalia anything that you're getting into, why are you doing it? Are you just doing it to, you know, you are maybe, let's say you are working and you're working for this person and wewe unaenda tu pale juu ya salary. You're building that business, you're not building yourself.
Yourself, that's true.
So the kind of man that we want to see is one who's self-aware about himself, is one who has a purpose, and is one who's accountable. So by the time you are going to parenting again, also you have a responsibility as a child.
Yeah.
And we need to understand our responsibilities as children also. And parents need to understand their responsibilities as parents to us. Unajua that ka verse ka Bible Kenya watu wanatumianga, the only verse with the promise, children obey your parents so that you may live. But do we read what follows next? Do we read what follows next? We don't. We don't. We want to. We have grown by inflicting fear. We think parenting is inflicting fear. But the moment we have been disciplined, ilifika mahali tukakuwa hardcore. You know, my dad alikuwa ananiambia enda utafute viboko kuja nazo, all sizes. So nafikira nikikuja na hii na kahivya alikuwa anatumia zote. Umechagua ana test hii, umechagua umechagua. Yeah.
Okay.
So parenting, we need to go down to the level. We say in counseling that we fit in the other person's shoe.
Yeah.
And then we ask ourselves, if I am doing this, if this is done to me, how will I feel? So even parents need to understand their role as parents and then express the same to their children. When you're stressed, don't come and shout. My dad will make steps pale kwa stairs. Anakanyaga boot.
Unajua
msiposikia hiyo anakohoa. Unajua mzee amefika. So una set kila kitu. Kama remote ilikuwa imeface kando, rudisha penye ilikuwa. Wazazi, my dad used to have and I keep asking my mom today, so hizi vitu zote ulikuwa unaweka na masahani ukisema za wageni wako wapi? So like kikombe ni ya baba, kuna kikombe yake, sahani yake. So we need to go down to the level of these children. Wasai wana negotiate.
Yes.
Ukimpatia kazi anakuambia fanya umenipatia kazi nifanye na expect. Hata nikifanya saa moja, we having that conversation in our church. We have a teens forum. So umenipatia kazi nifanye, umeniambia nioshe hizi vyombo. Hata nikiziosha saa 3, si bora nimeosha.
Kwa zimeoshwa.
So why would you come and there's one who asked the a younger one alikuwa anauliza the mom, why is shouting to this other one? Anamza mom, mbona unashout? Si anasikia.
Okay.
So then it hits you that yes. So stress kama niza ule jamaa kwa pale juu, amekukata matax na nini, your kids don't understand. Explain to them, tell them, give me 30 minutes, I need to relax, then come tell me what you wanted to say. Rather than you coming in and start shouting, alafu nyumba inakuwa ni kama unaona venye usiku ukiwasha stima mende zinapoteanga hivyo. So your kids wako hivyo. Ukifika rararara kila mtu amehepa. Wanakulia bedroom wanafanya nini? So parenting should be friendly also. Parenting is lovely if we look at it from that perspective.
From that perspective. Interesting. But then there's still a lot of conversation on gentle parenting now.
Yes,
this thing does not work at all.
But freedom comes with responsibility. Again, if you're not responsible, freedom should be guaranteed. So that is what parents should make it clear. Like, if you want to enjoy this, then play your role.
Okay.
Rewarding, the rewarding principle that you use in counseling. So you do well, I reward you. You do bad, I withdraw. They are under your roof. They shouldn't just sit too comfortable and do whatever they want. They shouldn't overrun you as a parent.
You know what else we always say, and I don't know if this is like a millennial thing, but me, I do not want to raise my kids the way I was raised. So I will come back and address that, and also our own traumas and how that impacts our kids. But just to remind you the question that we're asking you this morning, which is very simple, but also needs a little bit of introspection. You know, and the question is, let me just get it right so that I don't read my own things, okay? So the question that we're asking is, when motivation disappears, okay, what still gets done? Ile unaamka asubuhi unainua vikichwa, you're like, me, I'm not doing nothing today. What still gets done? Okay, at NTV Kenya, across all borders, how you can reach us on our social media platforms or engage with us on our WhatsApp number. And we have a bit of feedback on WhatsApp, so we'll go through it just to see what you guys are saying on the question of the day, and that is, when motivation disappears, what still gets done? Okay, so Philip will advise when we have that ready. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one says, hi, I am Joseph Wright Odhiambo. Hi, Joseph. Joseph, thank you so much for always tuning in and sending in your feedback. So Joseph says, when motivation disappears, what keeps me going is discipline, because motivation is a feeling and feelings come and go, but discipline is a decision. I don't wait to feel ready. I act, and consistency carries me forward. Aye. Thank you so much, Joseph. This is really good. I hope all of us can get to that level. This one says, hi, Auntie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Violet Kiaria. Thank you for the topic today on discipline versus motivation. Very relevant for us all. Sasa wanaume, tuwe honest kidogo. Motivation huja na kuenda, but discipline ndio inabaki. So swali yangu ni, are we really driven more by discipline, ama tuna survive on random motivation na vibes too? And what has actually worked for you consistently? Discipline or motivation? Nyinyi wote mtajibu. Nyinyi ni wanaume. Nyinyi wote. Hilary, do we start with you on that question?
That's a good one.
Motivation is the end goal.
Yeah.
I want to achieve an A.
Okay.
Discipline is waking up in the morning to read, follow up on questions. So what has worked for me consistently is, each and every day I have to ask myself, why? Why am I waking up in the morning? It's not because God has given me a life, which is one paramount, yes, but then why am I waking up in the morning? To do what? Is it going to perform or to identify who I really want to be?
Interesting, because oh wow, you know what? We always wear this mask, performative role. Unaamka unaingia kazi, unatandika hiyo kazi vizuri, not because you're motivated to do it, but because interesting. Okay.
If we go back to the speech by Martin Luther King in 1967, it's famous. I know Sifuna has said it several times, not to be political, but when you're 38 years old, if you need to stand on a principle, when you're going to lose everything, who are you really when all these things have been stripped away? Those titles, the social status that come with it, if all of them are stripped away, who are you? Who are you? And then that defines on even how you're going to move to the next level. Because the mind is like a magnet. When you think of something and you believe in it, it starts attracting it. Those things. You'll put yourself in those circles where those things bring themselves. So when you are consistently putting yourself in those circles and you have discipline to, when you get to this place, you build capacity in that small circle, you'll find yourself that the motivation, yes, to be that great person doesn't just come on a silver platter. You have to toil, and in this it builds on your behavior, on your character. There are areas where you don't need to get angry, you just need to get silent. Not that you're suppressing the emotions. No, you're trying to process. If I get angry, this is what I'm going to do next, and these are the repercussions. There are places where you don't need to be seen, you just need to be heard. Not because you're irrelevant, no, because your value increases in scarcity. So you go to some spaces and this is when it builds on who you really are and who you want to become.
Okay.
Then if you work on nataka kuwa billionaire in 20 years, then you'll find yourself getting into some chums corridors that won't make you into. If you've not built structure, you are motivated by the goal but you don't have any structure. You've not built capacity to that level. I actually say this thing in a funny way. If I give somebody $1 million shillings, if they don't have the financial literacy on $1 million shillings, the next day they'll give me 100 bob, change in my baki because I just find it to now pesa. They've not built capacity to handle $1 million shillings. They've built capacity to handle 100 shillings. So kimpatata 1 million, at aribu the 999,000, apatie yokambe. This is what I can hold.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to build capacity on what you want to carry.
I see. Ogeda, the question. Discipline versus motivation. So, wanaume tuongeni tu kweli. Tusidanganyane. What are you surviving on?
Me, I would confidently say that I thrive with my discipline, on my discipline, because this is my 10th year of fitness journey, and I can confidently say so by what I've experienced over the 10 years or a decade for that matter, because there are some guys, before the show we were discussing with my friend over here about the guys we began with, they dropped the ball and they're nowhere. But after realizing what fitness, the consistency has done to me, it's what actually makes me going. for instance, from the fitness perspective, for instance, if you look at the gym and the outdoor activities, like running, I remember when I began running, I couldn't even do a kilometer without stopping, and without my heart complaining it wants to come out.
Yeah.
But right now, I can confidently do 42 kilometers because of the consistency. Not only me, so many guys that I've seen them start, grow, and getting it better. So the consistency, actually they run together with the discipline from the fitness perspective. Because the more consistent you are, the wider the door you open for discipline. And as she asked on earlier on, I think I would say confidently that consistency has kept me where I am today.
You know what, babe, you see, 42.
Yeah.
And you know, fitness running, it is not fun.
It is fun.
It is not so.
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
What are you running from?
And the last time we were with you said, do you walk like, what, 35 kilometers every morning?
No,
or run?
I work out 5 times a week.
5 times a week?
I wake up in the morning, 4 o'clock every single day.
Okay.
Do my morning rounds, come back, shower, take my breakfast, take a 45 minutes to an hour recovery power nap, get out. My job description, I sell sportswear. So, for instance, if let's say I live on the other side of town, so let's say he's in Muthaiga, I would walk from home to Muthaiga, or I drive to town, leave my car in town, then walk to Muthaiga. That's the moment I have with myself. I walk. So I'm killing 2 birds with one stone. I'm getting my revenue and keeping fit at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Those are the motivation and the discipline that have been blended together to make me what I am.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Probably I'm looking at you. In terms of that, staying consistent, because it's true, we all want to be to be honest, to stay consistent. But then there's the pressures of life, there's the daily stresses, there's just everything that happens. And especially now that we're focusing on the man today, that sometimes you find your way losing track, you know, and then day one becomes 3 days, becomes 5 days, becomes a month, right? So then how do we still stay consistent, still stay disciplined, still stay motivated, despite everything else that happens to us externally and internally as well?
All right.
Yeah.
Now, these 2 gentlemen raise very important points in that sense. And when he said we were having a conversation earlier on, now it shows that consistency has and discipline has some evidence. Now, he told me he was once at 140 kgs. Wow. 104 kgs.
Wow.
Now, today, there's evidence.
Yes.
This is not 104.
No.
And he looks very fit.
Yeah.
And so you look at this and realize that when you're consistent and disciplined, there's evidence that you're going to have. Now, if you pick, somebody said that when you pick a prince and put them in a slum, the slum turns into a royal slum. In other words, there are things that prince is going to do if they are disciplined to change the slum. The slum will not change them because of the discipline that they have of what they have been taught in becoming a prince. And you see, that becomes very important because every person needs to have more discipline. Now, you're talking about we feel like we don't want to do it. And it's Joe Frazier, who is a former world heavyweight boxer of those days of Muhammad Ali, who said that if you lie under the darkness of the morning, you are going to be discovered in the bright lights of the night. In other words, if you don't do your morning runs when it's dark, when people are not seeing, when you get into the ring, you're going to be beaten, and we will know you did not keep your discipline. And therefore, there are things that you have to do, not because people are seeing what you're doing, but the evidence will come out. Because now it's not about what you're going to tell us. You see, when you may have a desire to do something, but you have not done it, the evidence will show. And so that is where the point of discipline comes. You practice in silence. All right?
I like that.
You practice in silence.
Because we like to make this. How will the world know that I'm working out if I do not post on Instagram? How will they know?
They will not know. And so you realize now, like I said before, that of course the motivation is needed, but the discipline is more. If you don't apply it, then you're going to lose out. So you have to push yourself. You know, it is not what you eat that makes you strong. it is what you're able to digest.
It's true.
All right?
Yeah.
Now, in the fitness, if you're pumping iron, it is not when you feel tired that will build your muscle. It is the extra 1 or 2 pushes that will build those muscles.
Oh, wow.
So you have to push yourself to some limits and stay motivated.
And stay motivated. You know what we do now? We look at the evidence, okay? Nani is rich, me I want to be like that. We don't really think what sacrifices did they make along the way.
That is it.
What, what their journey has been up until they are today. And like you said, case in point is Ogenda. You look at him like, maybe nataka you. What happened? But you don't know. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day, to work out and whatnot. So then how do we still stay on course, but don't just focus on the evidence that we see, but also try to understand what did this person do to get to where they are, and how do we find motivation in that and still stay disciplined enough until to sisi pia tuko na evidence yet.
Motivation will fade.
Yeah.
Okay.
But discipline is what will keep you going. If we were not disciplined, if we were not consistent, the first time that I came here, probably you will have never, had me here again. Yeah?
That's true.
Because I know what I am doing. I've chosen, I am self-aware. I've chosen this path, and I've dedicated a lot of time to this path.
Yeah.
But if I get deviated along the way simply because I came here and probably I saw but then as a photographer mzuri, then I switch to photography. Then I come here and I watch Wayne Rooney, and I'm like, Rooney anacheza poa. Ako just 29 na analipwa pesa yote. I can go to football. So you lose consistency. Why? Because you want to pick what the society is putting out, and then you're labeling it with money. Money is very important. Money is good. Money is very nice.
Yeah.
But do you have the capacity, as he said, to control that money, or that money will control you and finish you, and you lose track.
Yeah.
You know that story, they say that someone was in slippers, akaona mtu na viatu, akataka kiatu, akaona pikipiki, akaona mtu mwenye kwa ndege kujua nasema yanga angetaka tu kutembea tu chini, akanyagia hata mguu tupu tu asikie vizuri. So it is about you, how you've grown up, and what do you understand by discipline? What do you understand by motivation?
Yeah.
Because your discipline might be very, very different from me. His discipline is a trainer, and mine is a psychology. As much as we are dealing with the human aspect, it's totally different.
It's different.
Because he has to. I can't do what he's doing. I can try maybe to some extent, but if I am consistent, I can reach to where he is. So do we know our limits first? Do we understand ourselves? Do we know do we have a purpose in this life? Okay. Are we working to earn money, or are we working to use something social that we want to change? Do we have a social impact? Because hata kwa those who are in the civil society, you can still earn. When you're running a CBO, like I'm running a CBO in Thika, I can use what I have learned in school to make a difference in the society. Yeah. So do you have something that drives you as a young person? Okay. I might not wake up at 4 a.m. as he does, but I can wake up at 7 and still make good renewal of that time. Why? Because I have a plan. Because I know where I am heading. Yeah. We talked about accountability. I might be accountable to someone as a mentor. I might be accountable to my parent. I might be accountable to my older brother who is my mentor. Yeah. Because even if I keep complaining to him, he will challenge me and he'll tell me, okay, I know Winnie. Let me give you Winnie's number. He'll call you for a show. But if I stay there and I say, okay, nimefanya counseling, but sina mali pa kuenda, then what?
Yeah, then what? That's a good way to think about it. And also understanding our journeys are different, but there's something that we can borrow from each other. Yes. Hilary, you talked about structures, and we need to build structures, again, individualized, right? That will work for us. That much as, hey, motivation na tuna hata kidogo, lakini the discipline that we have based on the structures that we've built will help us, navigate life. So what are some of the structures that you'd say are important in life, in the different, aspects of lives that are very important for a man, because we're focusing on the men today?
Thank you so much. For a man, the structures that work, let me start on the first one. Okay. Emotional intelligence. Yes. Learn to name your emotions. And when you're growing up, most of the times we used to look up to people. Like, I want to be like this person. Gone are the days we used to have role models who like we used to know them that they have no flaws. Like here from 0 to 100 ako sawa.
They're perfect.
But now we get mentors who have been through the thick and thins of things. And then they don't show up to those things. No, we have to go and now learn. What has this person gone through to become this? What are the mistakes that this person did that I have to escape from them? As he says, the dad used to bring your mzinga and you are being told hii ndo kenye nafanyika. This ukikunywa hii nafanyika. Most of the times I think in the movies used to see like mtu akikunywa then the a hype on it. It's not like the dark side on it. You get high, you get overdrunk, you sleep on the floors and something or do something dangerous, drive under influence or something. We're not sure on that. We're being sure akisha kunywa achukua gari mbio. But then when you're building structures as a boy child, let's teach them to identify who they really are.
Okay.
From the young age. You are a boy, you're growing up to be a man. This is what the society, quote unquote, wants you to be. But then this is what you have to
This is the reality.
This is the reality.
Yeah.
You'll teach this person about performance. As a man, you have to be a protector, nini. But this person identify him mwenye ni nani. Sijui unajua wewe ni nani? I'm killer. No, we're not asking about your name. We're asking at who are you?
Yeah.
Then from there, on the structures, it's making this person know from uko chini, this is what you're going to build. When we are building this building, we need to decide that we have just this architectural design and the plan and this. We have to now see the foundation has to be this thick, has to be this deep.
Yeah.
From there, it's now when you see how to add floors and floors on top of it.
Yeah.
So when you're building for a boy child, we have to look on the identity.
Yes.
Who you really are. Who do you want to become? Then this is the process. This is the process.
Okay.
They mention on discipline and they mention on something on discipline and potential. But then find that most of the times we men and we boys don't decide on the process. We decide on the outcome. And a lot of it. If I see him with, for example, an iPhone 17 now, and then tunapatana tuko street, tuko like, hey, umsene kama kona amejua deals. But then you don't realize this person wakes up, as the coach has said, at 4 a.m. to package. This is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
This is my skill. This is my hobby. This is what I'm good at. I have to package on this. Then from this, I have to push myself into those rooms where this skill is needed. So nitakufunza yes deals ndo hizi lakini kidogo kwa page ya DCI. So if you don't have that structure of getting this, at the end of the day, it usually changes it to another direction. So identity versus performance makes this person realize I'm not just performing. I have to identify who I'm becoming in this whole journey.
I see that. I see that. Watch out to go through some of your feedback and then we'll come back. We'll also ask you the same question we're asking everybody. When motivation is not there, what do you still get done? Okay, and that is the question that we're asking you this morning. And that is when motivation completely disappears. It is not there anymore. What still gets done? Let's see what some of you have to say on our WhatsApp number. So this one says motivation was never supposed to do what? Okay, if you can have it here. Motivation was never supposed to be the engine. It's the spark. What gets done when it's gone reveals what you're actually built around, your values, your people, your purpose. This is Edith from Mombasa. Thank you so much, Edith. And then this one says, hello, the show is really good. Allow me to add that discipline is forcing yourself to do that which you may not want to do so that you may achieve what you want. This is B&G from Casfat Estate. Okay, thank you so much for watching. But keep sending it our way. Listen, I see our time is far much spent and we have like less than 5 minutes, like 3 minutes, around there. So the same question that we're asking people, and then also if there's one thing that you will tell a man or a boy child, okay, who's watching us this morning about discipline and motivation, where do they start? Or would you tell them? But first, when motivation disappears, what still gets done for you, Felix?
Waking up to make a difference in someone's life. So for me, it's about what will the society say when I'm gone. It's about what are the marks that I leave behind me, that someone else can follow, footsteps that can follow. So what drives me is wanting to leave another man better than I was when I was growing up. And as we are saying, it is not it is not wrong to fail. Failure makes you strong.
Yeah.
I started as a vet. I've done animal health and production because I used to love pets.
Yeah.
That used to drive me back then.
Okay.
I wanted to be a doctor, but nikajua kuko daktari si rahisi. You need grades. Then I went to a psychologist and I realized working with people, I can help these people understand
Okay.
because of where I was.
All right. I see that. Sorry, now I'm rushing you guys, but we need to be out like in a minute. But yes, when motivation disappears, what still gets
When
done?
it disappears, I think one of the things that we can help our young people, just speaking from where he was, now define who you want to be. Now, the other thing that you also need to do as a young person is protect your time as a young man. Protect your time and your focus because there are so many distractions. So you need to protect that time. And then the other thing that you also need to do, build that routine. Don't wash your utensils, like you said, at 10 and tomorrow at 8 and the other day at 4 in the evening. No, create a routine. And number three, you also need to ensure that you're improving. Every day that you're improving, you're making some progress, and then finally you have to execute. Make sure you're doing something.
Don't just have these things in your head. Thank you so much, Frank. Hilary?
I can say authenticity. Be authentic to yourself. Okay. Learn to tell yourself, nimefanya makosa. This is the mistake that I've done, and then take responsibility on it. This is my participation in this mistake. So I have to learn on. This is me being authentic, and this is what works for me. And if it doesn't work for you, where can we compromise so that we get to a balance? So as a young person, be authentic to yourself. It will sort you out in a lot of things. Just being real to you.
Yeah. In a world where we're expected to be something else, still remain okay. And then I'll get that.
From my end or from my space, I think the most important thing is to show up. Just show up. Show up.
This point.
You'll get it right along the way.
This was wholesome. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming by. Maybe see Boicha, but I'm like, yes. Picked a lot of that, okay? But thank you so much for coming by today. I know time is like this much, but please promise to come back again so that we can have more of these wholesome conversations. But for now, we say thank you, and also thank you for staying with us until the end of the show. If you still have more feedback and questions, please send it our way, and then we'll forward it to them. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, right here in New World.